Hello, Lindsay Elliott here from Lindsay Elliott Wellbeing Coaching. And if you are watching this live, then please do feel free to post any comments. I'll try to keep an eye on them or ask any questions. Or if you're watching this on replay, thank you for watching it. And again, post any comments or questions underneath the video, and I will check back in to see if there's anything that I can answer. So this week I want to continue on from last week's video about yo-yo dieting and behaviour change, to talk again about weight loss and dieting and body image and behaviour change, so really just to continue that conversation. So I'm going to get out my little diagram that I used last week. Oh, where am I? Hang on, I think I just need to turn that around so that, where's it going? Okay, so hold on, my light's on there. Let me just turn that around. Okay. It's funny, my webcam's back front. Right, so last week we looked at the process that is happening within us all of the time, so that we have a thought and it brings a feeling and then it leads to a behaviour. And particularly if the feeling that we are experiencing is something that we are feeling uncomfortable about. And the behaviour might be having a glass of wine, eating a biscuit, having a cake. But this actually applies not only just to about food and weight loss, but also to any habit really that you have. Smoking, shopping, looking at your phone, gambling, anything really. This same process is happening all of the time. So what we looked at last week was that thought brings feeling with it. If that feeling is something that you're uncomfortable with and you want to change, you may have innocently got into a pattern where you would eat something, drink something, and for a moment that provides a sort of temporary break in this thought feeling connection, or it feels like it provides a temporary break in this thought feeling connection, and may bring a momentary better feeling with it, as in, oh, I'm really enjoying this biscuit, or this cake tastes delicious, or this wine's so relaxing. So what's really happened is we've got out of whatever icky feeling we were in because a new thought has come, but we attribute that to the behaviour that we have engaged in. Really sorry, I'm trying, the back to frontness of this is, oh no, my phone's going off. Super professional this morning. So we really attribute it to the things that we are engaging in our behaviour. But as we explored last week, what's really happened is that momentarily we've had a new feeling because we've had a new thought. So it doesn't actually ever have anything to do with the behaviour that we've engaged in. But that most traditional sort of weight loss, diet, healthy eating programs will solely focus on the behaviour. So it's, I'm going to cut out sugar, I'm going to cut out gluten, I'm going to fast 2 days a week, I'm going to only eat salad for lunch, I'm going to exercise 5 times a week. So what tends to happen is, because we often, if we're overweight, or we don't like how our body looks, even if we're not perceived as being overweight, there's lots of people who still don't like how their body looks, and so they want to be thinner or they want to be more toned, and they have lots of kind of very uncomfortable thoughts and feelings about it. And so what tends to happen is we get fed up of feeling like this, and so we think, right, I'm going to engage in this plan, I'm going to get thinner, and that will make me feel better. And whilst that can work for a period of time, most people realise that willpower is actually something that isn't necessarily infinite. We can only generally keep it up for a certain period of time, and then it all starts to get a bit exhausting. We may have a thought and a feeling that comes along that's really compelling. We feel really crap one day and we just engage in that behaviour, and then we have another whole cycle of, why did I have that? Why have I broken my diet? I'm completely useless. Lots of really negative thinking about ourselves, and all of our compassion for ourselves goes completely out of the window. So what I really want to look at, as well as this process, is that quite innocently we tend to really believe all of the labels that we give ourselves. So we tend to believe that being overweight or not being our ideal weight or not being fit and not being healthy means something about us. And also that because we have this sort of uncontrollable pattern of not wanting to binge on something or not wanting to eat cakes and biscuits or wanting to eat healthily, that we can't do it. And we innocently believe that it means something about us, that it says something about who we are, that it means that we're a crap person, or it means that we don't have enough willpower, we don't have enough determination. And we look at all of those people around us who appear to have this and appear to have a healthy relationship with food, and we end up just beating ourselves up even more, and this cycle just really continues. So what I've seen in my work is that when we really focus on just changing the behaviour, that can be a temporary change. That can bring about weight loss, it can bring about changes in how we feel about our body, but it doesn't tend to be long lasting. And what I'd really like to point to is that what if, whatever pattern you're in with food, whether it's you're binging, whether it's you're just eating the wrong things or what you perceive to be the wrong things, whether it is that you're overweight or that you're just not happy with your body, that what if that is just experience passing through you and isn't who you really are? Because when I see that in my clients, when I see all of their struggle about how they feel, about their weight, about their body, about how they're feeling, I don't see all of that as them, as the true them. I see that as some experience, even if it's been a long-standing experience, as experience passing through them. So this thought-feeling connection that comes through us is moving and shifting all of the time. As I said last week, we have thoughts and feelings that come through us all day, every moment that we're awake, and I think even when we're asleep, we have thought energy coming through us, bringing feeling with it. And that brings our experience of life. But that's transitory, that's moving, that's shifting all of the time, because behind us here is the, if you imagine here to be the infinite potential of life, the energy that powers all of life, the thing that, you know, beats your heart, breathes your lungs, spins the planets, grows trees, grows babies, all of that sort of mysterious energy that we can't really often put our finger on what it is, but we know that there's something bigger than us that's powering this whole solar system and this planet. And this energy is running through us the whole time. It's living life through us. And when we're continually focused on looking here at our behaviour that's already in the form, if you like, in the world, it's already happening, rather than looking here to the formless, to the energy that powers life, we can add a lot of meaning about what our behaviours mean about us, about the sort of person we are. We're a good person, we're a disciplined person, we're a productive person, or we're not, we're lazy, we're fat, we're overweight, we're useless. All of that stuff comes from believing that we are our behaviours that we engage in. And what I really see is that that isn't true. Who we really are is the bit before it sort of comes into form, if you like. Yes, we are a human being. Yes, we are having a physical experience of life, absolutely. But what we've got going for us is that this energy that powers all of life is running through us as it runs through absolutely everything that's on the planet. It runs through all of the animals, all of the plants, all of the planets, all of the stars. This energy is running through us. And because we've got this energy running through us, and this is the energy that also brings thought with it and gives us thought and creates our experience. Our thought, what we think, is always open to change. It's always open to movement. It's always open to bringing us a new experience. Our insight and our wisdom is always available to us. And as soon as we have a new thought about something, say for example, if we can see that by engaging in a behaviour of eating sugary things or fatty things or salty things, we're just innocently trying to help ourselves to feel better. When we can insightfully see that, when we have a new thought, I'm just trying to help myself feel better, it doesn't mean that I'm a useless, rubbish, overweight, fat, lazy person. What it means is I'm trying to help myself feel better. And then when we also know, the follow on from that is, but I know that the only way I'm going to feel better is when I have a new thought. And it takes all of the pressure off of us. And that new insight, when that comes from within you, it can then completely shift your behaviour without any effort, without any willpower, because it no longer looks a reasonable thing to do to eat a biscuit or have a bit of cake to feel better. So when we can look towards this energy that's always flowing through us, and to who we are underneath all of the thought that's passing through us. So we have thought and feeling passing through us all of the time, but underneath that is a wellspring of resilience, is a wellspring of compassion, is a wellspring of love and of peace. And if you've ever had a time when your mind is relatively quiet, then you will have experienced that. Or when you've had a flash of insight when you've been in the shower, or driving your car and suddenly been, I know what to do about that. When you've been really unsure about something, that's your wisdom talking to you. And at the moment, your wisdom is just you're doing the best that you can with where your thought is in the moment. So at the moment, it might look like a good idea to eat those things to help yourself to feel better. But that's really open to change. As soon as we can see what we've got going for us, who we really are underneath all of the thought, feeling, experience that's coming through us, our behaviour can quite naturally change. And also what I've seen is that when people are trying to lose weight or feel better about their bodies or just deal with stress or just feel better in their lives, people tend to have a lot of thinking about it. So there's a lot of focus in the mind, a lot of habitual thinking that goes on about how am I going to lose weight? What's the next diet? I must read that book. I must start doing this. There's just a lot of thought that gets focused on the losing weight or feeling better about your body or about dieting. And all of that really just creates noise in your system. And when there's more noise in the system, it can just be, it doesn't mean your wisdom isn't there and isn't speaking. It just means it can be a bit harder to hear it. And so what the coaching program that I offer is that we don't look at this behaviour bit. We don't look there. We look at understanding the thought feeling that's happening 100% of the time to create our experience of life. And we look at who you really are and what you've really got going for you. And to see that, you may have seen it in another video, that when we stop shaking up our minds about our bodies, about our weight, all of the self-hate, all of the self-doubt, all of the I've got to, when we stop shaking up our heads about it, when we stop being in a thought storm about it, we can put it on the back burner, losing weight, and explore who we really are. Quite naturally, our mind settles and we get to see something completely new and fresh. This is how we're designed as humans. New and fresh can come through all of the time. We're wonderfully designed. We're perfectly designed for life on Earth. So I'd really like to be able to help you to stop adding all of that meaning about the behaviours that you're engaging in. All of that meaning that you're giving it about who it means you are and what kind of person you are and how successful you are in life. Just all of the meaning that you're giving it. Because in truth, all of it is neutral. All food is neutral, all behaviour is neutral. We just ascribe meaning to it and make it mean something negative or positive about ourselves. So in the nutrition coaching program that I have an offer on running through January until the middle of January, we will look at this in relation to food. But actually, it has the power and potential to change any single area of your life. Because when we understand how our experience is created and who we really are, so this part of ourselves and this part of ourselves, and that thought and feeling is an experience coming through us that, yes, leads to behaviour, but when we understand that, the potential is our whole life can change. So thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, please do get in touch. And if you want to talk to me about the nutrition coaching program or any coaching program, then I offer free calls so that we can just get to know each other and see if I might be able to help you. So thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Okay, and I'm going to be back next week with a video, last video before Christmas, talking about something that I hope will help you with Christmas stress and potentially difficult family members. So yeah, I'll be back next week with that. Thanks for watching. Bye.